after the rain delay, but it doesn't look like we're going to hit that. But we shouldn't be too far after that. You see it's clearing over certain parts of New York City. There are some scattered showers that are in the area. Hopefully they'll break up or just miss us here in Queens. Dylan G is still warming up out of the bullpen for the Mets. And Kyle Kendrick is still warming up out of the bullpen for the Phillies. There's G, who will come into this ballgame with a 3-1 record and an ERA of 2.51. He was a little delayed getting out there to stretch and getting himself ready for tonight's ballgame. Ryan Sandberg's also waiting for the umpires to head toward home plate, where they would exchange the lineup cards. So there's a couple of things that have to be done, some housekeeping, before we get ready for or get this one underway. So as we sit and wait, let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, Tom. Well, Kyle Kendrick getting set to make the start here at Citi Field, and still looking for that first win of the season. In fact, as we've talked about quite often this year, trying to break that 8-game personal losing streak that Kyle has had. It cannot all be pinned on Kyle Kendrick, though. The run support has not been there, and he understands that. In fact, it's the topic of our Geico quote of the day. He said, the record is kind of out of your control sometimes. You just want to go out there, take the ball every fifth day, give your team a chance to win, make your starts, and be healthy. That's the main thing. Obviously, you want to win the game. That's why you play. But some of those things are out of your control, so you keep battling and you stay with it. It's a good attitude to have. Ryan Sandberg, guys, has also talked about Kyle Kendrick and his mental approach to the game while he's not getting the run support. He actually has 7 quality starts in his last 13 starts, guys. So it's not all on him. The team's got to score some runs as well. And he'll be making his way in from the bullpen any moment. We'll get this one underway, guys.
All right, his 8-game losing streak, he's 0-8 with an ERA of 4.78. And as the umpires go out toward home plate to exchange the lineup cards for tonight's ball game, we'll step aside. When we come back, we'll give you the starting lineup first for the Philadelphia Phillies. So stay with us from Citi Field. As we wait for Dylan G to take the field as we start this game, the Phils and the New York Mets. He just told somebody one more minute. Jamie, what are you guys doing at this point as starting pitchers? Are you just kind of clear your head? You catching your breath? What are you doing?
I'm trying to maintain my thought process, my pace, and making sure that I'm ready to go on the field. I'm not letting people push me to go on the field. A lot of times what happens is you come in the dugout and people are going, hey, let's go, let's go, let's go. Look, the game doesn't start until I throw that first pitch.
Total control.
I feel like, yeah, as a pitcher, and again, I don't want to try to feel or make it sound like, hey, I'm in control of this whole show here, but there's a tempo that you're trying to create, and you've created it in the bullpen, and you want to bring that to the field.
Matt, what do you got for that, buddy?
I'm getting coffee. And I know in about 3 hours that's when I'm getting my at bat.
And how many cups would that have been at this point?
A lot. You get 5 or 6.
Well, the ceremonial first pitch has just been thrown. Dylan G will start warming up. There's the star of last night's ball game, if only for the one at bat that gave the Phillies the lead and eventually the victory. Let's take a look at the Phil's starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in center field, Ben Revere. Jimmy Rollins will bat second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Ryan Howard and Marlon Byrd. Dominic Brown's in left field. He'll bat sixth. In the bottom third of Carlos Ruiz, Cody Ashe, and Kyle Kendrick. And they'll face right-hander Dylan G. We mentioned before, 3-1, an ERA of 2.51. He's had a pretty good start, Jamie, to the 2014 season. The Phillies, though, have good numbers against him.
Well, he has had a great start to this season. You know, he's 3-1, as you alluded, Tom. But in his last 6 innings have been scoreless baseball. He hasn't given up a run since April 22nd in the 4th inning against Atlanta. So he's on a good roll right now. But also against Philadelphia, he's got a 7.46 earned run average. So that falls into the Phillies' favor tonight, and I like that. I really do. I mean, the Phillies are trying to create some momentum. So are the Mets. But after last night's game, I think the Phillies have the edge on the momentum.
Well, Roberto Hernandez got the start last night for the Phillies. He lasted only 5 innings. The bullpen, 6 innings, 1 run allowed, and that's how the Phils wound up winning the game. Let's take a look at our Nissan keys to tonight's ball game. All right, Matt, start us off.
Well, I worked last night. I thought the team was very aggressive on the base paths. So I'm going to jump on the bandwagon and say continue to be aggressive on the base paths.
And for me, Kyle Kendrick staying away from those early inning struggles, throwing a lot of pitches, getting behind in the count, not being able to create a tempo. If he can create that tempo that he's been able to create late in the game, here tonight from the first pitch, I think good things are going to happen for Kyle tonight.
Well, he's hoping his team will get him some runs to start things off. During Murph's report, he talked about the lack of run support during his 8-game losing streak. Well, during that streak, the Phillies have averaged 2.3 runs per game for Kendrick. So here we go. Ben Revere will lead it off. Revere was 1 for 5 with a walk in last night's ball game. He has 33 singles this year, which is second most in the National League, and the first pitch is over. So we're underway. Officially, the start time is 7:51. 72 degrees, overcast right now with some showers in the area. And a nice crowd settling in for this game. 39 minutes is the rain delay for tonight. Two-one pitch to Revere, and a line drive towards center field, a base hit. And Ben has started the ball game off with a single to center. And that'll bring Jimmy Rollins up. All right, the Phillies were aggressive on the base paths last night against Travis d'Arnaud, and we'll see if they have the same tendencies here tonight.
Well, and I think they would, and it might have had something to do with that little closed meeting they had yesterday with the players and the manager, Ryan Sandberg. But you know, they built this team around speed, and that's what they need to do.
Rollins last night 0 for 4. And a throw over to first. Revere's back without a tag. Ben has stolen 11 bases. He's been caught a couple times. There he goes. Pitch is taken low. The throw to second base on one hop is not in time. Stolen base number 12 for Ben Revere. And that's your key. Takes on a personality right out of the chute.
Well, and I think what it does, and Jamie would agree, is that all of a sudden now you start stealing some bases. You put the pressure on that pitcher in the first inning to get that run across and put your team in a lead early. Now all of a sudden he has to keep an eye on Ben at second base, and now try to keep Jimmy from trying to hit a ground ball to the right side.
So runner at second. Rollins shows bunt, takes low. But it's 2 balls and no strikes. Turned out to be a fairly close play.
But here again, you see another middle infielder catching a ball on a stolen base way in front of first, in front of second base. Would have been, I think, it would have been a much closer play if he caught the ball at the bag.
There's a line drive base hit it to right field. Revere got a late start. I mean, Granderson's throw will be cut off by Duda. It's a single for Rollins. And now first and third with nobody out.
Well, what we're seeing already with the first 2 hitters is they're being aggressive in the count. They're getting pitches to drive, and that's a line drive right there where you're taught anything hit to the right side as a runner, you're supposed to freeze and then advance to third base, because the last thing you want to do is get doubled off at second base.
And now you have nobody out with runners on first and third. Chase Utley, a .336 hitter with 3 home runs, 16 runs batted in. Chase last night 3 for 5, including the double in the 11th inning that led to the run for the Phils. And he hits that one to center field. It's going to be deep enough for Revere to score. Lagares is under it. His throw goes to second, so a sac fly, 1-0 Phillies on top. And all set up because of the stolen base by Ben Revere. RBI number 17 for Utley, and it'll bring Ryan Howard to the plate.
The other thing you hope that the Phillies can create here tonight is, they scored obviously here in the first inning, but keep the pressure on Dylan G and the Mets defense. We've seen the Phillies score some runs on occasion early in the game, and then they just kind of roll over. It would be really important for these guys to, as we call them down on the bench, adding on.
Well, you got a guy at the plate now, and Ryan Howard, who has, you know, in some senses owned Dylan G. He's 7 for 15 against him with a home run. And although they have the shift on, it's not as deep with a runner at first base. Ground ball foul. He starts him off with something soft there.
Very smart on his behalf.
Ryan overall hitting .234, 7 home runs, 20 runs batted in. He's hit it 10 straight overall against the Mets. 38 lifetime home runs against New York. Breaking ball, and it's 2-1.
I got to believe somewhere here Ryan's going to be getting a fastball. Hoping he's sitting on it
At the right time.
Yep.
I'm hoping he doesn't do too much of it. To take a nice easy swing and drive it anywhere where it's pitched.
Opposite way out toward the alley in left center field, and that's going to drop and go to the wall. Rollins hesitated for a moment. He's on his way to third. He'll be held there. It's a double for Ryan Howard. It's so second and third with one man down. That is double number 5 for Howard on the year. Rollins must not have had a great angle, because at the last moment he stopped, thinking Lagares might have a chance at that.
Yeah, very nice easy swing with Ryan. Actually kind of hit that ball, looked like towards the end of the bat a little bit. But it is tough for Jimmy, knowing that the ball is going to left center and the center fielder's running at that angle after it. But it's nice job of Ryan driving the ball to left center.
But I also believe too, when you said center fielder, when you see his numbers, You know, when that center fielder has to turn and show you his numbers running to the, towards the ball, that's got to give you a good idea that, hey, I'm not going to catch this ball.
Yeah, that was a great angle that we just saw.
Yep.
And on that angle, and obviously it's not exactly where Rollins was, you could tell that he wasn't going to catch that ball. But Jimmy was kind of slow getting the second. But he can still score here on a fly ball or a ground out by Marlon Byrd. Phillies up 1-0 already.
Well, Jimmy did the right thing. He made sure that ball was going to drop. Heaven forbid if that thing, if he catches it, they're not going to double him off. But
well, and I think also, Jim, you made a great comment about when you see the numbers of the outfielders going after the baseball, you can be a little more aggressive going around second base. Once the ball bounces, then you can score very easily. But if he makes a nice catch, you still have the time to go back, tag second base, and get back to first base in time.
1 ball, 1 strike to Marlon Byrd. Byrd hitting over 400 in his last 13 games. As the runners take their lead. Up and in. That ball may have got a piece of him. It did. So that'll load up the bases for Dominic Brown. First batter G's hit this year.
Well, if you're going to get hit by a pitch, it's a good spot to get hit so it doesn't hurt. That's for sure.
this isn't a good, comfortable place to be as a starting pitcher in the first inning either. You've given up 1 run. You've got 1 out. You get the bases loaded. You're really trying to talk yourself into giving up, getting a ground ball. This is the best thing you're trying to do. Get yourself a ground ball. Hopefully they hit it at. I mean, he's thinking to get somebody to hit it at.
And if you're Dominic Brown, you're trying to lift the ball here, at least get a run home. Curved ball, that's in for a strike. It's 0-1. Dominic hitting .233. He had 2 RBIs in last night's ball game. He looped a couple pitches to left field. Another one that's a curveball looped out towards center. Here comes Lagares on the run. He dives. He can't get it. It rolls out of his glove. Rollins will score. Howard goes to third. Station to station baseball. And the Phillies take a 2-0 lead. Dominic Brown has not hit the ball all that hard in this series, but he has 3 RBIs.
Like we said, doesn't matter how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it. And that's a tough play for an outfielder, especially when you have a huge swing by a guy who has power. All of a sudden, the center fielder might freeze a little bit or take that 1 step back. He comes up here and tries to make a nice dive and catch. But Marlon Byrd did a tremendous job of base running there, going a little over halfway and realizing he wasn't going to be able to get to it. Now getting to second base without someone throwing him out.
And I have Ruiz coming up, but if you're the Phillies, the way Ruiz has been swinging the bat, although 1 for 8 on the road trip, feel pretty good about yourselves with the bases loaded, already a 2-0 lead. Lagares was playing awfully deep out in center and unable to corral that one. Carlos, 290, home run, 8 RBIs. First pitch low, 1 ball, no strikes. Just 1 hit in 10 at bats against G. Ground ball back toward the middle, knocked down by G, comes home, and they get Howard. And the bases remain loaded at fielder's choice, and Cody Ashe is coming to the plate.
That's just a nice defensive play by a pitcher of reaction, but realizing that he should have a lot of time at home plate to throw this ball, and he kind of overthrew it. And
oh yeah,
very nice play by the catcher.
He didn't really take a step and throw, he just threw it. Ashe 0 for 4 last night, 0 for 9 in this road trip. Takes a curved ball and it's 0-1. And that one hit sharply on a line, caught by Duda, and the side is retired. The Phillies settle for 2 runs against Dylan G here in the top of the first. They leave them loaded. We'll go to the bottom of the first, and Kyle Kendrick has an early lead. Took an early 2-0 lead in their half of the first, so now we go to the bottom of the first. Let's take a look at the Mets starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in center field, Juan Lagares. Daniel Murphy, the second baseman, bats second. David Wright hits third, followed by Curtis Granderson and Chris Young. Lucas Duda, the first baseman, bats sixth. In the bottom third of Flores, Darno, and Dylan G. And they'll face Phillies right-hander Kyle Kendrick. Kendrick 0-3 this year, with an earned run average of 3.58, 43 hits and 10 walks, so 53 base runners, Matt, and 37 2/3.
Yeah, and like Jamie talks about in sprint training, we saw him pitch. He needs to throw that curveball a little bit more tonight, just to keep those hitters off balance. Everyone knows he's 88 to 91 miles an hour with a good changeup and a nice little sinker, but now all of a sudden he starts mixing that curveball, keep the hitters off balance. He's had pretty good numbers in 2013 versus the Mets. 3-1 with a 3.04 ERA.
He pitched in 4 games overall. He had 21 strikeouts during those 4 games. He had 26 2/3. So he'll face Lagares to start it off. Lagares hitting .306 with a home run and 9 runs batted in. He was 1 for 6 with a couple strikeouts last night. And the first sinker is low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. It'll be Lagares, Murphy, and Wright. Off the end of the bat, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Lagares.
Kyle's pitched pretty well here at Citi Field. He's got a 4-2 record in 6 starts with a 2.89 ERA. So, I feel like he's very comfortable pitching here in New York.
Just saw Dylan G in the dugout. He gave up 2 runs. It could have been a whole lot worse for him in the first. And that ball got a piece of him. Did he swing? No, says the first base umpire.
Can they check that?
They just did. Well, can they check on a replay? No.
No. Can they? Did he ask you?
Yeah, he did. He said he didn't swing.
Wow.
Well, it looks like he did hold it up just by that side angle right there. I thought from over the top it was pretty close, but not so much there. Well, here's Daniel Murphy. He had a base hit in his first at-bat last night. 1 for 4 overall with a couple walks, couple runs scored. .27 at-bats against Kyle Kendrick. Phillies set up the infield to try to turn 2. Utley at second, Rollins at first. Ground ball right side. They'll get at least one. They're going to go to second, and they do get the lead runner.
And lo and behold, there's a curveball. So hopefully we're going to Kyle's going to implement that to his repertoire tonight. Get a nice little rollover ground ball with it. Unfortunately, it wasn't hit hard enough to turn two, but get the lead runner.
But if he has that success in the first couple innings with it, I mean, you would imagine that he'll go to it, or Ruiz will go to it more, won't you?
I would think so. I mean, use it early in the count, just to reestablish some confidence with it. And I talked to him the other day about it, and he said, look, I still believe I have confidence in it, and then it's a matter of just using it.
One away. David Wright is the batter. Wright had a couple hits last night, including that double to left that tied the game in the 8th inning. Swings at the first pitch. It's out of play. Wright has good numbers against Kendrick. He's 13 for 41 against Kyle. Out of play again down the right field line this time. It's 0-2.
And to go back about his curveball, the thing about it is he's never thrown a curveball against this team before. He just started playing spring training with it. Now all of a sudden the scouting report on him is the 3 pitches. Now all of a sudden you start throwing that curveball as a hitter. Now you start eliminating. You have to start thinking of that curveball and the height that comes in.
That ball is hit out toward left center field. It's hit well. Dominic Brown going back to the wall, and this game is tied up at 2. The first home run for David Wright since opening day. A 2-run shot, and it's a 2-2 ball game. Pitch that was left up. It looked like it was a changeup that was left up.
Boy, was it. It was the first one he's thrown all game, but it's an 0-2 count. It's a free pitch. Again, I'm struggling with the thinking that's going on here, and then on top of it, the execution.
Well, the shame of it is, you get the 2-0 lead, hitting G hard, and now all of a sudden you're all evened up at 2. Granderson the batter, and he hits one out towards second on 1 hop. And there are 2 outs.
And the reason, and I agree with Jamie 100%, is you throw 2 fastballs to David Wright. He hits over the first base dugout.
Right.
Why throw a changeup to speed his bat up? Why not go a little farther outside or elevate a fastball? The last thing you want to do for a guy who's swinging the bat late is speed his bat up by throwing a changeup.
Well, and those fastballs were out over the plate. You throw a changeup out over the plate, and you don't execute it. It's back on the plate.
That may have screamed for a cutter in that spot, something like that, maybe.
Fastball in, fastball running down and in off the plate. Anything but that pitch right there.
Well, here's Chris Young. Young was 0 for 5 last night. It's a 2-2 game. I mentioned that Wright had not homered since opening day, March 31st. 136 at-bats between home runs for David Wright. No balls and 2 strikes to Young. Outside with a cutter, and it's 1-2.
There's another changeup. It almost looks like he's afraid to throw it. Looks like he was a little timid with it.
Outside, that was a cutter. Now it's 3-2. So he's ahead, no balls and 2 strikes, and he's behind now 3-2. To Chris Young with Lucas Duda waiting on deck. Just got a piece of it to stay alive.
Down here again, we went from an 0-2 count to a cutter away. Now it's 1-2. Change up for a ball, and then a cutter away. And none of those 3 pitches after he worked so hard to get that 0-2 count had any effect on the at bat. Now he throws a cutter away and he takes a pretty good hack at it.
Little dribbler in front of the plate. Ruiz will pick it up. His side is retired. But 2 runs score and a home run by David Wright. His 3rd home run lifetime against Kyle Kendrick, and his first homer since the 31st of March. Deep into the seats in left center field. So we're tied at 2 as we go to the 2nd here at Citi Field. You on. Don't forget the LA Angels are coming to town this Tuesday. That's a 2-game series, Tuesday and Wednesday. On Tuesday, it's the Wistar Institute Melanoma Awareness Day, presented by Independence Blue Cross. As Kyle Kendrick swings at the first pitch from Dylan G and hits it hard right at David Wright. Now there's 1 out. You can get tickets anytime at Phillies.com. All right, the good sign is the Phillies hit some balls hard in the first inning. And if Kendrick is any indication, they're still seeing the ball against Dylan G as we get set for the 2nd. You like that, how I gave the pitcher some respect there, Jamie?
Yeah, I do.
Hitter? Yeah,
I do.
Revere singled and scored his first time up, and the first pitch to him. Change up low, 1 ball, no strikes.
It'll be interesting to see how they go about pitching second time around, where Ben hit a fastball for a base hit. Rollins hit a fastball for a base hit early in the count. And we noticed that he started off Ben with the changeup his first at bat, which you usually don't see to a leadoff hitter.
1 ball and 1 strike to Revere. Little chopper back to the mound. Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Larry Sell of Wilmington. Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game. Larry will win $200. 2 outs. Jimmy Rollins coming up. He singled his first time up. That was base hit, career base hit number 2,207 for Rollins. He's now 4 away from 3rd place all time. And he's 28 away from becoming the all-time hits leader for the Phillies. Inside 2-0 to Rollins.
Dylan G's done a nice job getting off in the second inning. You know, first pitch out with Kyle Kendrick and throwing 3 pitches to Ben Revere. You know, he's trying to get himself back into a tempo here.
Through a changeup, and it's 2-2. G has gone at least 6 innings or more, or at least 6 innings, I should say, in 6 of his 7 starts this year. This is start number 8 for him. Rollins hits one in the air, deep right field. Going back on it is Granderson. Back into the well. It is off the subway side and gone. A home run for Jimmy Rollins, and the Phillies retake the lead. 4th home run of the year for Rollins. And Larry Sell of Wilmington, you've just won $200 thanks to the McDonald's home run jackpot.
This is supposed to be that front door sinker where he threw the second strike to him earlier, and all of a sudden he threw that sinker, and they came back towards the middle of the plate. Drove off the subway sign to right field.
Well, it took, what, 4 hours and 39 minutes to get the score this way last night?
Chase Utley takes a strike. It's 0-1. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And the ball was hit a whole lot softer than that one was right there. Well, the sac fly is last time up, or first time up, and he pulls it foul. It's 0-2. Jimmy Rollins now with 4 home runs and 17 runs batted in. And he's at 22.08 now in career hits. Outside and high, 1-2 to Utley. Down the left field line, Chris Young with a long run over it toward foul territory, makes the catch over the tarp, and that'll do it for the second inning as Utley's retired. But the Phillies retake the lead on a solo home run by Jimmy Rollins off the facade of the second deck here at Citi Field. That was hit a long way. So we'll go to the bottom of the second inning here at Citi Field with the Phillies up to 3-2. Central on Sportsnet Central tonight at 10 on Comcast Sportsnet and always online at csnphilly.com. Been a busy few days for the National Football League. We begin the bottom of the second. Lucas Duda will lead it off for the Mets. Three-man overshift. He shows bunt, takes inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Rollins has given the Phillies the lead. He'll stay on his side of the field. And it's Cody Ashe who is out into shallow right field. One to Duda, who was not around yesterday or available, as we came to find out. He had food poisoning and had to get some IVs in him. Tonight, Eric Campbell, who they just brought up, the Mets did from AAA, he was in the original starting lineup. They had to scratch him because he had food poisoning. So here's the thing, guys. If you're down in the Mets clubhouse, as nice as it is, just watch what you eat, okay?
Okay.
Everywhere else, it's fine.
Thanks for the info.
Yeah.
Pretty good chance I won't be in the Mets walking.
Well, I just wanted to warn you, just in case. At the knees, it's 2-2 to Duda.
Just give you a little comparison here between Kyle Kendrick and Dylan G tonight. Kyle's walks, hits per innings pitched, which would be called WHIP, is 1.41, ranks 47th out of 57. And Dylan G's is his walks to hits to innings pitched is 1.05, which ranks 11th in the National League.
Well, that's, I guess, why their success, his earned run average is low coming into this ball game, and Kendrick's is close to 3.6 coming into this game. Also talk about how deep G's been able to get into games, and that's part of the reason too. He tried a backdoor cutter and it missed. 3-2 to Lucas Duda.
And Kyle's ground ball rate is 52% through his first 6 starts this year too. So you think it would be a little bit higher for a sinker ball pitcher.
Swing and a miss. He got it with a changeup. First strikeout for Kendrick. During the 2014 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Jamie, you jonesing for some Turkey Hill?
Oh, missing it big time. Missing it.
Yeah, they do have ice cream here at Citi Field, but it's just not the same. Flores takes a fastball outside, 1-0.
Ice cream is good anywhere, but I don't know. Anything beats Turkey Hill ice cream. Sorry. And Frank serving it at the ballpark.
I think there'd be some visiting teams that would agree with you on that. Flores hits one in the air to right center field. It's fairly deep and playable for Revere. And there are 2 outs. And here's Travis d'Arnaud. Not a bad pitch by Kendrick, using the big part of the park here.
Yeah, it's out of Kyle's first 7 hitters, 5 of those hitters have seen 3 pitches or less. Actually, excuse me, 4. Lagares saw 4 pitches as well as first at bat, but that's where Kyle's going to economize and get deeper into the game when he can get guys out 2 or 3 pitches or less.
And that's the aggressiveness that we talked about before with Kyle.
Exactly.
You got to pound the strike zone, and until I have a hitter that can prove to me, a right-handed hitter who can hit one out of the Grand Canyon to 390 to right center, I'm going to keep on throwing it up there and see what happens.
The ball is hit toward the alley in right center field, and Revere reaches up, makes the catch as he stumbles to the ground. Then a little dance at the end just for good measure. And d'Arnaud is robbed of an extra base hit as we wrap up the bottom of the second inning. Well, he got a very good jump and a burst of speed and was able to track this baby down. Ben Revere makes a couple plays here in the second. This one was a doozy. We'll go to the third with the Phillies up by 1. And also thanks to a little defense by Ben Revere.
He had a tremendous jump. No hesitation. Ball hit over his left shoulder. Turner went. Made the Superman catch and did the backwards high stepping, knowing that he made a nice play.
Backwards high step. There you go. A little congratulations from Kyle Kendrick and maybe a word of thanks. Ben hasn't stopped talking since he got into the dugout. He and Tony Gwynn have been discussing that play. Both Tony and Ben had a little trouble in Toronto. Tony will be the first one to admit that, as he did to you and I in the dugout in Toronto. Here's Ryan Howard. He doubled his first time up. Howard 5 doubles now on the year. Off speed pitch and 1 ball and 1 strike to him.
Even though he swung through that, I liked his finish. He wasn't trying to make contact. He was trying to swing through the ball and hit it for a distance.
He grounds that one into the shift into right field, and Murphy throws him out. Time now for the Jeep Stump the Fans trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information. Please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Matt, Jamie, here's the question. Which Mets pitcher other than Tom Seaver and Dwight Gooden has won the Cy Young Award? The answer will be revealed in a little bit.
Did it have to be when he was with the Mets, or
Yes.
could he have been a Met pitcher?
It had to be when he was with the Mets. I saw you mouth a certain player. It's not the right answer. Let me just tell you.
Well, I figured it wasn't because he didn't win it when he was a Met. That's why I asked.
That ball hit pretty well out to the gap in right center field. Magaris tracks it down. He made it look easy going after that one.
You know, I think sometimes, you know, we're trying to be tricked here with these questions, so I figured I'd just throw that out on the table right away.
Two outs. Dominic Brown, who had an RBI loop single his first time up. I'm going to give you a real easy hint here that may give it away, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. We've seen him this year. No balls, 1 strike to Brown. That one's out toward left field. Young on the run. And he'll get there a step or two from the track. And the Phillies go down in order in their half of the third. 6-pitch inning for Dylan G. We go to the bottom of the third here at Citi Field. It's the Phillies 3, the Mets 2. Any size hot or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Buy WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And buy Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop at choosenissan.com. Last of the third. It's 3-2. Phillies on top. First pitch to Dylan G is taken for a strike. It's 0-1. Breaking ball. 0-2. Mets pitchers, as we pointed out last night, are 0 for 59 on the year. Outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mets pitchers are hitless at 59 at bats. The Phillies have a pitcher who is still looking for his first major league hit, and that's Roberto Hernandez, who started last night's ball game. Curveball, dribbled foul. It remains 1-2. And every once in a while, you'll get a comedic nugget out of Ryan Sandberg, the manager of the Phils. And Murph, today we got one of those comedic nuggets.
We certainly did. The writers asked if they thought, or if Ryan thought Roberto would ever get his first hit. He said, yeah, I think he'll get a hit as long as you move the foul lines from batting circle to batting circle. He said if you do that, he hit a seed last night that would have been a double. It was one that went directly over the camera well by the dugout and almost clipped a couple of people. But yeah, Ryan having some fun at Roberto's expense.
He said he did come back and say, but more importantly than anything else, he did get the sacrifice bunt down.
He did do that, which was important.
G again fouls one away. It remains 1-2.
It would be hard to defense that, certainly. Batting circle to batting circle.
I was going to say, which one?
I'd be in play at this point.
Hate to say it, but there seems to be some momentum building right now for Dylan G. This is the 8th pitch of this at bat. Going to get his 9th pitch.
Well, at this point, he's seen every pitch in Kyle's repertoire. Nice to see a little sinker in here and see how his thumbs feel with that one.
Breaking ball, fouled again.
It's not a good feeling when you're a pitcher on the mound and you've thrown every pitch to the pitcher and he's fouled him every pitch off.
This is the 10th pitch of this at bat.
What can I throw to him to get by him?
Try the cutter. It's 2-2. Got him. Whew. One out here in the bottom of the third. And top of the order's coming up. Cincinnati Reds will be in Philadelphia Friday, May 16th. It's Irish Heritage Night. It's the beginning of a 3-game series. It wraps up on Sunday the 18th at 1:35. Citizens Bank Fanatic Birthday and free Fanatic Fun Glasses for fans 14 and under. Tickets can be purchased anytime at Phillies.com.
You know, and even though Dylan G didn't get a hit there, he did a great job of making Kyle work. Kyle had to throw 11 pitches, turns the lineup over. He's now at 40 pitches going into the 3rd inning.
Lagares was hit by a pitch his first time up. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. Over to shortstop. Rollins to his right. He's got it. 2 outs. Daniel Murphy, a fielder's choices last time up. That was not against a fastball, and that's a good thing. Look what he's done against the fastball so far this season. 68% of his hits have come against the fastball, to a tune of a .420 average. That is not missing it right there. Phillies have all those same numbers that we have that Bloomberg provides to us. Bloomberg stats. Kevin Camasholi goes through all of those. Phillies director of video. The 0-1 pitch to Murphy. Had a play 0-2.
And there's a few things that probably the reason why is that one is he did very aggressive early in the count, first pitch. Has a very good eye and he's getting the hitter's count. But the thing is that they hit a fastball and put them play that many times for high average is impressive. So that means you're squaring up and having a very nice swing on a fastball.
Fly ball center field. It's playable for Revere. It's going to take him back toward the track though. And Kendrick has a 1-2-3 third inning. He's retired 8 straight since the home run by David Wright. 3 in the books. We go to the 4th in a 1-run game. Toner cartridges. Order the real thing. Original HP cartridges that deliver unmatched quality from WB Mason, an HP preferred partner. Nobody beats WB on HP. Go to the top of the 4th inning. Phillies lead it 3-2. Kyle Kendrick has allowed just 1 hit. It was a 2-run home run to David Wright. Jimmy Rollins, though, has given the Phillies a 3-2 lead on a solo home run. That came in the 2nd. So now as we begin the 4th, it'll be Carlos Ruiz, Cody Ashe, and Kendrick against Dylan G. Carlos reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. He's 0 for 1. The outside corner, no balls and 1 strike. The last 14 games for Carlos have been outstanding. 10 walks in those 14 games. To go along with a 373 average. Granderson will retire him on a sliding grab. And that'll bring Cody Ashe to the plate. The average is nice to see. The fact that he's getting on base additionally with the walks, that is helpful because he's not batting all the time in the 7th spot. He's been batting cleanup. He's been batting 2nd. And that extends the life of some innings and adds to some rallies, too.
And honestly, seeing the more pitches and drawing the walks are helping towards getting his timing down and feeling good about his swing.
The ball flipped to G for the 2nd out. 3-1 on the putout. All right, so he threw 6 pitches in the last inning, and now he's gotten 2 quick outs here in the 4th. Think Kyle will take a couple pitches here?
I don't know, but I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I agree of trying to be aggressive in the early in the strike zone, but is that a pitch that Cody actually wants to swing at? No balls, 1 strike. Why are you swinging at something off speed out of the zone? And trust me, I've been there before. But after a quick leadoff guy getting out, you want to be aggressive and stay in your zone. I mean, this is not a pitch that it's a ball you can drive.
It's a very good point.
I can understand they have a game plan tonight, and they probably know that Dylan G, he pounds the strike zone with a lot of fastballs early in the count. Well, if it's not going to be a fastball, then let it go.
Well, he gets another 1-2-3 inning. He's retired 7 straight. Kendrick retired 8 straight. We played 3.5 here at Citi Field. The Phillies leading the Mets 3-2. By the Quality Plus Sports Stores. Go further. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. And by Toyota. The Toyota Time Sales event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. Phillies lead it 3-2. They took a 2-0 lead after the top of the first, and then David Wright on this swing hit his first home run since opening day.
David really didn't have to do a whole lot right there. He gets really behind in an 0-2 count, and Kyle just offered him a nice changeup, elevated out over the plate, and deposited into the outfield. Even the last out in the last inning, David Murphy was 0-2. Threw him too good of a pitch, or he hit it pretty well, but he got away with one there. I think David would like that swing again.
First pitch in this at bat to Wright. Ground ball to shortstop. And Rollins throws him out just by a hair. Went away. Well, that was very helpful on Wright's part to go after that pitch from Kendrick.
But that's what happens when you throw a good sinker. It's got some movement. I don't want to say it bottomed out, but it was running down and in. You know, to drive that ball, you got to get underneath it, and as it's sinking, obviously David hit the top part of the ball and he hits a ground ball to shortstop. That's exactly the result you're looking for.
And look for it early in the count too. Granderson takes a strike. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. He grounded out to Utley his first time up.
You know, Cal's not going to fool anybody with his pitch repertoire. So he just needs to execute the pitches, and he'll have success.
His pace has been better tonight, too. Don't you guys? I mean, it's not exactly where it was the first half of last season, but it has been better.
I would agree, Tom. I think his pace is better. I think his demeanor could be a little more aggressive.
Part of it is that he hasn't had any base runners since the first. So he's working from the windup. That usually does dictate a quicker pace for him. 3-1 pitch to Granderson. Down the right field line. That'll hook foul.
Watch the defensive linemen, how they're doing it. 3-1 fastball. All of a sudden, all the infielders start to shift to their left for the pull situation. Now he gets back in 3-2 situation. They move back to the normal spot.
Back toward the middle, under the glove of Kendrick and into center field. He slowed it up a little bit, as did the mound. Granderson with a one-out single. It's the first base hit since Wright's homer. He had been hitting under 100 in his last 12 games here at Citi Field. 087 with 15 strikeouts before that hit.
And the thing that I've noticed also with Kyle Kendrick this year, he's pitched better as he's gotten into the second and third at bats facing his opponents. So hopefully that will hold up here again tonight.
Chris Young hit one right in front of the plate his last time up, retired by Ruiz.
Right there you see the effectiveness of Kyle Sinker. And that ball was down the middle, but the bottom fell out of it. It sunk down below the zone, and Young just swung right over top of it. So the hitter will tell you what kind of stuff you have.
Just barely got a piece of that too. So it's 1-2 to Chris Young.
I think Chris Young's a pretty good low ball hitter. He's not really taking too many comfortable swings here in this at bat.
And a called strike 3, and Young knew it. He was walking away as Ruiz grabbed the pitch, and there are 2 outs. That's the 3rd strikeout for Kendrick. Nothing fancy about that.
No, it isn't. That leads back to what Jamie's comments was making earlier, is that you throw the fastballs inside. Now all of a sudden the hitters start looking inside. You have 2 quality sinkers inside. Now all of a sudden it opens up that plate, throws a cutter away, freezes the hitter because he's thinking inside the game.
Well, now Duda. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. That was a first pitch curveball. You guys have been calling for that, even on the first pitch, just to sort of a get me over curve.
I think it's a great pitch. It's a great time to use it. You don't know what, Duda's got some power. You don't know what he's going to do here. You throw a first pitch. You saw Dylan G's done it when he was in trouble early in the game, and it really got him ahead in the count.
Now a changeup, and it's 0-2.
Creativity and execution.
You thinking soft here, or you thinking something a little quicker at this point?
I want something here that's got a lot of life to it, or I want his feet moved.
Ruiz will creep inside, and that one's a liner towards short, caught out of the air by Jimmy Rollins. A little humpback line drive, and that'll do it for the Mets here in the 4th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. Top of the order for the Phillies when we return with the top of the 5th. Some of the experiences Phillies fans have enjoyed over the last year or so, thanks to the Phillies' fantastic auction, are a chance to learn the catching trade with Carlos Ruiz, or how about Roy Halladay showing a youngster how to throw a changeup, or maybe spending some time with Chase Utley down on the field. The Phillies' fantastic auction is open for business. The auction ends Tuesday, May 13th, Wednesday, May 14th. You get a chance to play some hockey with Matt at the Wells Fargo Center, a trip to San Francisco to see the Phillies play the Giants. And again, go to Phillies.com for more information. But Revere leads it off. Revere's 1 for 2. And he's behind quickly to Dylan G. No balls and 2 strikes. And he was diving a little bit on that one.
It's a great no ball, 2 strike. Says you guys have been feeling comfortable. Yeah, this is the time where you want to come back in, like Jamie said, double up.
Throws him a curveball, hits to the right side. And 2 away for Jimmy Rollins. Pitches by inning. 6 and 6 the last 2. So 12 pitches the last 2 innings. And now 4 in this one. Rollins is 2 for 2. He is singled and homered. 0-1 to Rollins. So that Rollins is now 3 hits away from 3rd place all time in hits in Phillies history. He will pass Ed Delahunty, who set the all-time record at the time back in 1901. And his all-time hits record lasted 58 years before Whitey broke it in 1959. Ed Delahunty unfortunately died at the age of 35. And Rollins hits one skyward out toward left center field, playable for Lagares. And there are 2 outs. And this is where Rollins sits right now. Whitey with 2,217 and Mike at 2,234. Did you guys ever hear the story how Ed Delahunty passed away?
I have not.
He was swept over the falls. Swept over Niagara Falls at the age of 35. Yeah, so stay away from the falls, okay? Matt, if you're heading back north of the border.
Been there, done it. Swept over the falls.
Were you in a barrel?
Oh. 35 years old. 0-1 to Chase Utley.
Was he fishing?
I believe he went over it. I don't know what he was doing. I don't think he was in a barrel. I think he was just swept over. 0-2 to Utley. Would have been some fast moving fish if he was fishing. Larry Shank, the great Larry Shank, sent out some notes about Ed Delahunty the other day. He's the only one that's wearing a suit in those headshots that we just saw. He didn't play in that suit. I'm sure he wore it every day. How about that, though? His record lasted 58 years before Whitey passed it in 59. Utley checks, and no appeal. So at a Major League scoreboard, we go out to San Diego. The Marlins and Padres have gotten together. The Marlins are on top 2-0. That game's in the bottom of the 1st. That means Jed Jerko hasn't batted yet. He had himself a heck of a night last night against the Miami Marlins.
6 RBIs?
Yeah, 6 RBIs. He was seeing Jose Fernandez's pitches pretty well. And the 1-2 pitch. High, 2-2. Casey McGee homered in the first inning of that Marlins game to help them to the 2-0 lead. And that ball got a piece of Chase Utley, so he's aboard, hit by a pitch. And that'll give Howard a chance to bat against Dylan G.
There's a stat on how many times the Mets have hit Chase Utley.
I was just going to say, every time we come here, he either hits a home run down in Utley's corner,
yep,
or he wears one in the arm.
Or the knee or the foot.
Yeah, I'm going to give you those numbers in just a matter of seconds. You guys can keep yourselves busy for a few moments. Now, you just want it up here, or
in general? I mean, career.
Howard lines one to center field, a base hit, and Utley will stop at second. Ryan Howard does see Dylan G well. He's got 2 hits tonight, and they have runners on first and second for Marlon Byrd.
I find it really interesting. Ryan's first at bat came up with a man on base. He started him off with a changeup. Second at bat came up to lead off an inning. Started him off with a curveball. Comes up this at bat, and Ryan has only seen one fastball going into this at bat. The third at bat was my first pitch fastball. It's a single.
Murph, it's remarkable the success he's had against Dylan G.
It really is, Tom. 9 for 18 now in his career, including those 2 hits today, and 6 of those 9 hits, 6 of them have been home runs off of Dylan G. That is, as you put it early in the game, that is owning a pitcher, I would imagine.
Marlon Byrd takes low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Murph, you know how many times Chase Utley's been hit by a pitch against the Mets?
Oh, I'll say 23.
23 is correct. Been hit by the Mets 23 times.
How about that?
So you guys are right. You guys have a feel for that.
I'll bet I've seen 20 of them.
That one's into shallow center field. Flores backpedals. He's dancing around. He makes the catch, and it wasn't pretty, but he was able to corral it. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit. And 2 men left. Middle of the 5th. Phillies 3, Mets 2. Brought to you by Citizens Bank. The Philadelphia region has more than 100 colleges and universities. If you want to be a good citizen, an education is a great first step. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal, and that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank. Good banking is good citizenship. Bottom of the 5th inning, 3-2. Phillies on top. They scored 2 in the first and 1 in the second. And Wilmer Flores will lead it off against Kendrick here in the 5th. First pitch is over. It's 0-1. Flores fly to center his first time. change up and he missed low.
Turned out to be a nice night for baseball.
Yeah, the mist that was falling for a few innings has stopped. They do think there's still some rain in the area. Hopefully it will be long gone by the time the rain comes back to Flushing. I'll tell you, Matt and I were sitting here in the booth when it was raining before. You know, we said last night we've never seen a game like last night. Well, you'd be hard pressed to find rainfall like we saw before the start of this game. I mean, there were lakes out in left center field and right center field.
And if you looked at the field, you'd never know it.
Never know it. Warning tracks all the way around. I mean, they were flooded all the way around. There's Travis d'Arnaud, retired on a fine play by Revere, his first time up, and this one is going to be up to Carlos Ruiz.
Two hands. Two hands. Come on, Chuchi.
I think he was just playing with it. Yeah. And there are 2 outs. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire, the opposition 1-2-3, which Kendrick has done twice tonight, and needs one more out to do it here. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And a line drive down the left field line, foul. Folks around the ballpark here in New York were jumping up thinking that the drought was over.
G's taking some pretty good hacks off of Kyle tonight.
I think it's time for Kyle to move his feet.
Why not?
Why not? He's got a bat in his hands.
You've seen, what, 13 pitches tonight?
Yeah, 11 pitch at bat his first time up.
Other than David Wright's home run, he's probably taking the best swings of anybody.
Chopper left side. Ashe backs up on it. And the side is retired. 1-2-3 go the Mets here in the 5th. Kendrick has allowed 1 hit since the first inning home run. We'll go to the 6th. Philly of the week returned to his original major league team in the offseason and is having a very strong second month of the year. A solid April has bloomed into a spectacular start to May. Marlon hit well over 400 in the first week of the month from the middle of the lineup and is connecting with extra base power. His bat is producing. He is among the National League leaders in doubles. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Counting his double last night, Marlon now has 12 on the season. That one was a game winner. The Phillies won it 3-2 in 11 innings. Tonight, they lead it 3-2 as we go to the top of the 6th. A much crisper game tonight compared to last night.
Much crisper, Tom. Emphasize the word much.
The were 32 runners left on base. What were you telling us last night? Your son's single A game, they left 17.
His team left 17 on.
Man, it's contagious. Here's Dominic Brown. He's 1 for 2. He had a bloop single for an RBI his first time up, and he takes a curveball outside. It's 1-0.
And they lost 10-8.
Well, at least they put some runs across the plate. That's what I think set last night's game aside for a lot of folks, is that it was a 2-1 game until the 8th, and then obviously the Mets tied it at 2, and all those runners were left on base. Chase Utley said it was a true test that the Phillies won that ball game. And you know what he meant by that, I would think, is that it was a 4-hour 39-minute game. They left a ton of runners on base. They had to go into the bullpen early, and they watched the 2-1 lead get wiped away, and then they had to persevere and pull it out in the 11th inning.
Yeah, and I'd agree, especially when they just came off a real tough series against the Toronto Blue Jays.
Soft ground ball. Brown hustling up the first base line is retired. 1 out. Some group value dates are on the calendar for the Phillies in 2014. Buy one, get one free dates are August 5th and September 9th. And Super Fanatic value dates, an offer of $8 discounts on tickets, May 28th and August 18th. Group value date pricing is good for groups of 50 or more and are subject to select locations and availability. For more information or to order, see Phillies.com or call 215-463-5000. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. To the right side, Duda makes a diving stop, and he gets up to his feet. 2 outs.
Those are nice pitches. A little slider away. Duda had a nice jump to his first. Smothered it, get up, and made a tough play look very easy.
It's a case where a pitcher threw the same pitch 3 times in a row. Got a ground ball. It does happen. You can repeat pitches in locations, but it's all about execution.
Cody Ashley's 0 for 2. Now, repeating pitches, kids growing up repeat fastballs all the time. You're talking not only fastballs, but these secondary pitches too, correct?
Most definitely. But if you're talking kids, I want you to repeat your fastball 90% of the time, 95% of the time. I'm going to let you move on to throwing a curveball or a slider or a cutter.
Now, on this level, though, you're talking backing up curveballs, backing up cutters, things like that.
Oh, definitely. You can change the location. You can throw a curveball, get me over curveball first pitch, and then throw one with a little more bite to it that drops below the zone. It's the same pitch. It's a different location. You can backdoor a curveball. You can throw a curveball down and in. You can do the same thing with a cutter. You can do the same thing with a fastball. It's harder to change speeds with a changeup, but it's possible. You got to be real creative with that, but it can happen. But you can change location with it.
3 balls, 1 strike. And there's ball 4. So Ashley draws a walk, and that'll turn the lineup over as Kendrick will bat with 2 outs. Kendrick lined out his first time up, struck out looking his last time. And that walk by Dylan G is his first of the night. He has hit 2 batters. He hit Marlon Byrd and hit Chase Utley. Kendrick has hit 1 batter tonight. Ground ball to shortstop. Side is retired. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left for the Phillies. We've completed 5 1/2. Top of the order is due up for the Mets when we return. most live sports. Bottom of the 6th inning, the Phillies 3, the Mets 2. Phillies scored 2 in there half of the first. Mets tied it, and then the Phillies took the lead with a home run from Jimmy Rollins at the top of the 2nd. Well, tonight, the first 20,000 fans coming to Citi Field received the Nolan Ryan bobblehead. And speaking of the Express, our cold hard fact brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Nolan is one of only 29 players to have appeared in games in 4 decades. The last 2 players were Jamie and Omar Vizquel. Jamie from 86 to 2012, of course, and Omar from 89 to 2012.
I thought Carlton Fisk was in that group.
Well, you guys are the last 2. The last 2. I have to tell you that we were discussing it today, Matt and I up here in the booth while you were preparing for the game. And I said to Matt, I said, Jamie's one of those guys. He appeared in 4 decades. And Matt, didn't you say, I don't think he played in the 70s.
Well, someone said, well, he's 67 to 89. Like, no. That means he was 7 years old when he was playing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We were trying to do the math.
So I was defending him, actually.
I appreciate that, partner.
Yeah, you were saying you're 45. I'm 45. Jamie's not 45, and you're saying I don't think that works. But 4 decades. I remember when I was a kid, and they used to talk about Tim McCarver having played in 4 decades, and Jim Cott having played in 4 decades, and you know there's something to be said for that.
Yeah,
that's a lot of
a few baseball games.
That's a few baseball games.
I loved it. I enjoyed every minute of it. Especially, when you go through the tough times, you think it's tough and you're not going to get through it, but you look back on it and you really realize that you've learned a lot about life,
right?
And you've learned a lot about the game of baseball, and you learn a lot about yourself, and you learn a lot about other people.
And the game of baseball certainly changes over the course of 4 decades.
It sure does. When I started in the big leagues, we had roommates and no cell phones. Well, the brick cell phone. Remember those things?
Oh, yeah.
Big carrying case, the antenna screwed off. Yeah.
Did you have one of those?
I had one. Yeah.
I did too.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. Felt like I was a mash. You know how they want to call that people when they crank the machine.
3-2 to Lagares. The pitch from Kendrick. Outside ball 4. And for Kyle, it's his first walk of the night.
And I obviously, when I got called up to the big leagues, I played with the Cubs. Yoshi Kawano was our clubhouse manager who had been with the Cubs since he was a kid, and he was pretty old. And the hat box that we used to travel with was an old box. I swear it was probably 50 years old. It was made out of wood. It was framed in wood. And I had never seen anything like that any other time in my career. Actually, he had Sandy socks that had Santo written on them.
Change up low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Even the evolution of the uniform, too. Just watching your first game against the Phillies and how different the uniforms were even then.
We had drawstring pants for our home pants.
1-0 to Murphy with a runner at first. Opposite way, Dominic Brown comes in. He'll play it on a hop. And Lagares will stop at second. So a little bit of trouble brewing here for Kyle Kendrick near the bottom of the 6th. He was cruising through the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. He had allowed just 1 base runner since the home run by David Wright. Now he's going to try to induce a double play, a ground ball double play from Wright.
But here's one of those guys. I don't think this is a good situation for a get-me-over curveball.
Particularly after you saw how he hit that changeup his first time up.
Exactly.
Sinker in there for strike 1. was that changeup we were talking about?
Pretty much right down the middle.
Yeah, it was.
And for an 0-2 pitch, it's caught way too much of the plate.
In the dirt, blocked by Ruiz. It keeps the runners at first and second. That was a very good play by Carlos on that curveball that was about 57 feet. Time to take a look at our Mazda leaders. In right has 3 more home runs than the next guy, Carlos Beltran. Next guy is Dan Uggla. As far as the leaders go against the Phillies, active leaders against the Phillies. Outside, it's 2-1. There's going to come a point where Kyle is going to have to stop nibbling and have to make a pitch.
Here's where your aggression can help you. And becoming passive doesn't help you.
He tried that spot where he got the fastball over on the first pitch. It's 3-1 to David Wright.
And notice for each one of these pitches, he comes set and he looks back at the base runner and goes to the plate. So he's created a pattern with his head. If I'm a base runner, a good base runner is going to pick up on that and be able to steal a base.
Well, he delivered a good cutter there that Wright went after it. It's 3-2. There's bullpen action for both teams. Diekman's up for the Phils.
Here, you see a good cutter. It just runs off the plate. If Kyle leaves that ball on the plate, David's going to hit that ball pretty hard.
Fights it off down the right field line. Bird on the run. Here he comes. He dives. He can't get it. It's off his glove, and it trickles toward foul territory. Lagares on his way home. The throw is cut off by Ryan Howard, and we're tied up at 3. It's going to be a double for David Wright. And the Mets have second and third with nobody out, and a run in here in the bottom of the 6th.
I hate to bring it up again. It's going to come back and haunt all year, but leadoff walk. Backup cutter right there. I don't know exactly where Kyle wanted that. Caught a good part of the play to tie David up a little bit, but he pushed it out into right field. Marlin gave it a great effort, but fell just a tad bit short.
Yeah, Marlin took a chance by diving instead of playing that on one hop. And now Bob McClure is out to the mound to talk to Kendrick with runners on second and third. Boy, he was humming along after the 2-run home run by Wright in the first. He had only allowed a single. And then the 6th inning begins with that walk. The base hit by Murphy. And the bloop to right by David Wright. Phillies play the infield back. They'll concede the run to get an out.
How many times does David Wright come to the plate with guys in scoring position? I've seen it year after year after year. And he comes through the majority of the time.
He's a good player. To the right side, it's a foul ball, and it's 0-2 to Granderson. Kyle's not a strikeout pitcher, but boy, could he use one here.
Let's be smart here with this pitch. The pitch and the location.
He hasn't really thrown many two-seamers to the left-handed hitters tonight.
Threw one right there. The ball had some run to it. You can see Curtis is trying to pull that ball to the right side.
Trying to get right over to third while also scoring Murphy from third. Now the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got it with a changeup. 4 strikeouts for Kyle Kendrick.
Well, there's a big difference right there with that changeup. That was a great changeup that ran off the plate. And you look at the result of that and the changeup he threw in the first inning. Now, granted, David Wright was a right-handed hitter. It ran back to him. But that pitch right there, Carlos set up away. Kyle got on top of the ball, and that ball ran, from overhead there. You can see it's off the plate.
Chris Young is 0 for 2.
Here's a guy, real good chance he's swinging early in the count. You get these kinds of hitters that can put the ball in play, and RBI guys, they realize some of the better pitches they're going to get are going to be early in the count.
Phillies have the infield in halfway. First pitch inside, 1-0.
And that reaction right there tells me he's looking away. I'm going to stay in. But I got to get some sort of swing or a called strike.
Well, that was a changeup that was up in the zone.
You got a good result out of it. A strike.
This is the perfect time to come back in there with a fastball. As a hitter, you get the first pitch fastball, get you off the plate. He came back something soft, change up. Now all of a sudden he threw a slider low and away or the cut fastball. Now as a hitter, you start thinking, okay, he's going to stay outside, try to get me to roll over. Now try to bust him in hard.
Now he's got the count even 2-2. To try to come inside with that, as you mentioned.
And what happens is hitters, we start thinking out over the plate, so we kind of dive a little bit harder to go towards home plate. And all of a sudden now, as we smother the ball, you know what I mean? As our hands come away from our body, we're at the outside of the ball instead of staying inside the ball, driving that way. And it's almost like a forced swing now.
Carter's lead off second and third. Dude is on deck. He's probably going to want to face Diekman. Second walk of the inning. That's going to load up the bases. Sandberg is thinking about it in the dugout, talking to Bob McClure. Larry Bowa is on the phone, and that's going to be it for Kyle Kendrick. They're going to go get the left-hander, Jake Diekman. They need a strikeout here. At least that's the feeling. And if they can bring Diekman in here and get the strikeout with the bases loaded in a 3-3 ball game. So the second mound visit of the inning means that Kyle Kendrick's evening is complete. Go to the pen in the 3-3 game. The bases are loaded. Tough spot for Diekman when we return to Citi Field. party as Sunday take on the Cincinnati Reds. Free Fanatic Fun Glasses for all fans 14 and younger. Order your tickets now at Phillies.com. That's Eric Campbell, who was just called up from AAA, and it looks like he's going to pinch hit for Lucas Duda. Campbell this year was hitting .355 with 3 home runs and 24 runs batted in for Las Vegas. He'll face Jake Diekman, 29 strikeouts and 17 1/3. They had mixed reviews up on the video board just now. They were trying to get the crowd into it, and they had Eli Manning lead a chant. He was booed. And then Geno Smith from the Jets lead a chant, and he was booed. There's some applause in there too. Well, big spot for Diekman, and he's had a number of big spots this year. Campbell had a good spring for the Mets. He replaces Josh Satin on the roster. Phillies set up for 2. And Campbell takes inside. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
That was an interesting pitch right there. Carlos set up down and away. Diekman missed that pitch all the way across the plate inside.
Toward right field. Bird came in, now settles back, makes the catch. Tagging from third is Murphy. The throw goes toward third, and the Mets take the lead. It's a sacrifice fly by Campbell. In his first major league at bat, it's a 4-3 ball game. There's Eric Campbell's family. They get a chance to see him. He's from Norwich, Connecticut, which is not too far from here. Went to Boston College. Mom obviously knows when there's a productive out. And with runners on first and third and the Mets on top for the first time tonight. There's Wilmer Flores. Toss over to Chris Young. Flores fouls it off to the right. It's 0-1.
Matt, here's a situation that you brought up earlier in the game. Throws him a fastball. He catches it way back deep in the strike zone and fouls it off over the dugout. Here, if you're going to throw any kind of slider, it's got to be in the dirt. It's got to be down in. It can't be on the plate. Because that slider is a slower speed. You're going to be throwing it right into his bat speed. One thing that Nolan Ryan used to say, I was fortunate enough to be a teammate of his. Make them hit your fast, especially with you got a big arm. Make them prove they can hit your fastball first.
He was throwing 3 straight. That one was the fastest of them. That was at 97 there. He really wasn't even close to it. He just barely made contact. One-two pitch. Popped him up. Ryan Howard into foul territory. Utley's coming over also, and Utley makes the call, and that'll do it. for the 6th inning. But the Mets take the lead. They score a couple runs. One on an RBI double by Wright. Another on a sacrifice fly will go to the 7th. Time now for your local Honda dealers game summary. The Mets just scored 2 in the bottom of the 6th inning on an RBI double by David Wright. So that means that Dylan G is the pitcher of record at this point on the winning side. He went 6 innings, allowed 6 hits, and 3 earned runs. 1 walk, 1 strikeout. His night is done. Changes for the Mets. Campbell stays in the ball game to play first base. He pinch hit for Lucas Duda. And Dylan G is done, and Scott Rice will take over for him. Rice, the left-hander, 17 games so far this year, including last night when he was able to get a double play ball to wrap up the 8th inning after he walked a batter. And he'll face Ben Revere, who has good numbers against left-handers. Revere is 1 for 3, singled and scored in the first, and he's grounded out twice. Ben is hitting over 380 against left-handed pitching. When he bunts, foul. It's 0-1. Matt, was there a year where you felt, can you remember a year where you felt like you could hit left-handers as well as right-handers? I mean, Revere's having that kind of a month right now. I would think it's, as you progress up the ladder, it is tough lefties on lefties.
It is, and I think probably my years in Oakland, a couple of years I played every day, I had no problems facing the left-handers. Power-wise, are pretty good, but with Ben, the advantage he has is that 1, he has great speed. Right? 2, the third baseman plays in shallow. 3, you want to stay back on the left-hander as long as possible and hit the ball to left field. He doesn't try to do too much, and he really doesn't overswing versus left-hander. Putting the ball on the ground, hit the ball to left field. Big hole over there.
That one's hit off the mound. Flores gobbles it up. Put out here in the 7th. This is back in the 2nd inning. Rollins hooks a home run, his 4th of the year, off the side of the 2nd deck. That gave the Phillies a 3-2 lead, and with that home run, 1 tree will be planted by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society as part of Home Runs for Trees, a partnership between the Phillies, PHS, and Aramark. Home Runs for Trees is part of a project to restore the region's tree coverage. Go to Phillies.com/redgoesgreen for more info. Rollins takes down and away, 1 ball, no strikes. One to Jimmy. He was talking the other day about switch hitting. He was talking about Victorino switching back to just being a right-handed hitter. You guys were discussing how tough that is after being a switch hitter for so long. I think that Shane had thought about doing that for a couple of years. I was surprised to hear that.
And it's interesting hearing Jimmy how he started hitting right-handed. A little buddy of his was a left-handed guy throwing about 7 or 8 years old, and they were playing with a wiffle ball, and he just figured he's throwing from the left side, so maybe I should hit in the right side, and that's where he started doing it. And we talked about how hard it is to maintain your swing throughout the year, and if he could do it all over again, he'd be a strictly right-handed hitter.
Right-handed, he wouldn't be a left-handed hitter, he'd be strictly a right-handed hitter.
I asked him when we faced R.A. Dickey, do you think about hitting right-handed? He goes, no, man. He said, someone threw me a fastball at one time and it froze me. I don't want to see that no more.
See, I think that being a switch hitter, and Jamie, I know your one son is a switch hitter. For Jimmy, it has been so advantageous for his career. I'm not saying he wouldn't be the same player right-handed, but being a switch hitter has really helped his career.
I agree 100% with that comment, Tom.
Slow roller to the right side. Campbell trying to go after it, and ooh, he's safe at first. Good call. Tim Welke looked at it for a moment, and Terry Collins will come out. It seemed like Welke was expecting Collins was going to come out. Rollins' groin is absolutely fine because he was moving up the first base line. Terry Collins is looking over to Bob Guerin, and Bob Guerin just gave the thumbs down.
And the thing about this play is it's an off-speed away, but Jimmy has like a running start because he lunges a little bit and his momentum's going towards first base. And I tell you what, great call on Jamie Moyer's part saying he's going to beat that out. Tim Wilkie, the first base umpire, had that right hand getting ready to punch him the outside, then realizes that he's safe.
Foot's on the bag, ball is not in the glove.
I think Jimmy smelled that from the box.
Oh, yeah.
He knew he didn't hit it hard. He got a good break out of the box at bat. As you said, his body was kind of taking him that way, which gave him a little bit of an extra jump.
Well, now Utley with a runner at first. And that ball gets away from Darno, and Rollins will go to second. He turns around second and holds up there. And again, he is moving just fine. Wild pitch. And now a base hit, and we'll have a tie ball game.
Chase moving around in the box. It messes with you as a pitcher. It really does. You want to get a good look at that curveball. Rice buried that curveball in the dirt. Darno just kind of stabbed at it. He really didn't try to block it with his body, and it got away from him.
That's 14 wild pitches while Darno's catching this year. And Utley rips one foul. He was aiming for Utley's corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's amazing how quick Chase is inside. And it doesn't matter how hard you throw him.
It's the corner that he peppers a lot of times. Marlins started off the second base bag as if he was going to go. And now it's 2-2.
Jamie, you're correct with his swing is so quick. Jimmy had the little. Jimmy's feeling good on the base paths.
Yeah, he is.
With Chase's swing is so short, and him turning that fastball foul down the right field line has brought him back-to-back sliders. And don't be surprised if you see another one right here.
Time is called. Amelia warming up in the pen. And Utley hits one out towards center field. Agares is playing shallow. He's on the run. It's over his head, and it's off the top of the wall. Rollins around third, heading home. Utley around second. He'll stop there, and we are tied up at 4 apiece. Man, did that ball explode off the bat of Chase Utley. Second RBI of the night for Utley. He has 18 on the year.
You're right, Tom. That ball did explode. Oh, it was a slider. I was thinking it was a fastball. Caught a good bit of the plate. Almost like Chase was looking for it. Stayed right on it. Stayed right through it. Short swing. Boy, that ball did jump off his bat. Would have hit about 2/3 of the way up the wall. Right left center field wall. Jimmy scores easily. Again, that wild pitch sets that play up.
So now a 4-4 game. Ryan Howard is up. And Howard takes inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Ground ball foul, and it's 1-1. Marlon Byrd is on deck. Familia, as we mentioned, is warming up in the bullpen for him, you would assume. Utley's going. Rice's throw is in time. Chase thought he had him timed. 2 outs. David Wright was playing so far off the bag. It's not a bad idea for Utley to think that he can get there and be at third with less than 2 outs, but he's got to make this. He can't do this and get caught like that. And he knows it. One and 2 to Ryan Howard. You understand his thinking. Get to third and let Howard then, to fly ball or maybe even a ground ball and give the go-ahead run across the plate a little easier.
But it almost looked like he was timing the pitch.
Sure.
He was one looking, then all of a sudden he did the double look, and
that one's floated out toward right. Granderson's not going to get there. It's going to drop in for a hit. So there you go. 3 hits tonight for Howard. Here comes Terry Collins, and that will be it for Scott Rice. So Utley's RBI double ties the game, but his base running mistake means this ball game will remain tied, at least for the moment, as the Mets will go to the bullpen again. Familia's coming on, the right-hander, to face Marlon Byrd when we return. defensive play of the game. Ben Revere did a little dancing after this play finished up with Travis d'Arnaud at the plate.
Yeah, he did. He had a very good jump to left center on this ball. Doesn't miss a beat, doesn't miss a stride, makes a great catch. Superman catch, does a tumble, does a high step backwards after he catches it. Definitely one of the, and Kyle Kendrick really enjoyed that catch.
It's your defensive play of the game, brought to you by Hyundai, your local Hyundai dealers. So it's a 4-4 ball game. And Marlon Byrd will be the hitter for the Phils against Jeurys Familia. His 14th game. 1-2, a 3.52 earned run average. Pitched in last night's ball game. Marlon 0 for 2. Out in front, 0-1. Who singled, and his third hit of the night is over at first base.
The way Campbell's holding him on, looks like they have two guys leading off at first base. Why wouldn't you play behind him then?
Swing at this. It's a good point. Side is retired. The Phillies tie it up, and an RBI double by Chase Utley. Time to stretch here at Citi Field in his 4-4 game. Appreciate that. Yeah, Michael Sam selected by the St. Louis Rams in this year's NFL draft. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's a 4-4 game. The Phillies and the New York Mets. Jake Diekman will stay in. He'll face Travis d'Arnaud, and then a pinch hitter for the pitcher. And at the top of the order for New York. Boy, Diekman's really turning into a workhorse, isn't he?
He is. I had a nice little conversation with him today in the clubhouse, and he was talking about how he's learning how to control his emotions and not try to overthrow the ball, realizing that he's got great velocity with his fastball, but in certain situations he has caught himself previously trying to overthrow the ball and not rely on the good stuff that he has. So you can see in conversation these guys are starting to see things and slow the game down, and they're learning things. It's kind of like on-the-job training.
d'Arnaud is 0 for 2. He's flied out and popped out, and the first pitch is over for a strike. It's 0-1. all these young pitchers the Phillies have utilized out of the bullpen. Jake Diekman, B.J. Rosenberg, Philippe Almont, Justin DeFreitas. He's kind of moved ahead of the pack right now. And the Phillies hope the others will eventually follow suit and be part of this pen.
What's a confidence thing? And he's probably pitched, he's had the most opportunities, but he's taking advantage of those opportunities. That's why he's going to continue to get the opportunities, but learning as he's moving forward.
0-2 is fouled away. Sorry, to Major League Scoreboard, interleague play as the Nationals and the Athletics facing off. The Nats lead it 3-1. Danny Espinosa's hit a solo home run. Now the 0-2 pitch. Up and in, 1-2.
On the other side of that, it's really nice for them to hear him admit to his mistakes and be accountable to them, but also say, you know, I realize I've made the mistake, but this is why I made the mistake, and now I'm working on making that adjustment and becoming more consistent, not only with his pitches but with his repeating his mechanics.
Yeah, the fact he's getting so much work allows him to work on those things, you know, from one appearance to another. 2-2 pitch. And a call. Strike 3. Darno's down looking. And it's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph, take it away.
Thank you very much, T-Mac. Brought to you by Gwen at Mercy University. And Baltimore Orioles slugger Chris Davis made a rehab start tonight in Double-A. You remember he's working his way back from that oblique strain. The plan was for him to play 7 innings at first base, and the Orioles think that if all goes well tonight, that they could reinstate him after just that one rehab game. That is the plan. And Aroldis Chapman for the Cincinnati Reds, he is back in the big leagues. He suffered that line drive back to the face where he had some fractured bones in his face. They inserted a metal plate, and 8 weeks later he is back with the Cincinnati Reds, and they said they are going to insert him right back into the role as closer. They're not going to ease him back in. He will be the closer in any situations they need it. So Aroldis Chapman is back, and that certainly is good news for them, guys.
Yeah, the reports are that he had no interest at all in doing another rehab appearance because he was so bad the last time. So they said, you know what, velocity's good. Let's just put him right back in there.
Well, it's impressive that he's come back so quickly.
Yeah.
And I love his attitude.
Eric Young, the pinch hitter, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, and sometimes as a major leaguer going back to the minor leagues, you used to, as a pitcher, trying to set hitters up in the big league level, and you can. One of the biggest problems of going back to the minor leagues, you can't set them up because they don't know what they're doing.
Well, and they're such free swingers. I mean, they have a game plan, but they go up and they hack, and it's like going down there as a rehab and you want to work on things. I hated it. I mean, I never wanted to go down on a rehab assignment. It was just, I did it one time in Nashville, and that was it.
I think teams feel obligated to send guys out for those rehab assignments just to get them some live opportunities. By the way, Murph, Gwen at Mercy University, as well as some others in the Delaware Valley, a graduation. In fact, Gwen at Mercy was today, so congratulations to all of the college graduates who are getting ready to embark on the next stage of their life.
Welcome to the real world. Except for us.
Well, that is a good point.
We haven't gotten there yet.
2-2 pitch to Young. Fouls it back. Carlos Torres up in the bullpen for the Mets. And he got him. Ruiz hangs on. Another strikeout for Diekman. And there are 2 outs. Top of the order coming up. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD. on over 400 devices. Lagares takes outside. Lagares tonight is 0 for 1. He's been hit by a pitch and he's walked and scored. Last night, 6 innings from the bullpen, 1 run. With Kyle Kendrick being lifted after 5 1/3. Bullpen is going to be utilized again here tonight for some length. Over toward the hole. That'll get into left field, a base hit for Lagares. A 2-out single, and here's Daniel Murphy coming up.
What you have to do off of a guy like Diekman. Try not to do a whole lot. Well, it was a pretty good fastball down and in. And Lagares just got on top of that ball and hit the ball hard in the hole. I think if you try to do too much off of guys like Diekman, you find yourself in jeopardy.
Well, and I think that's I know why is because guys who have power swings who are very aggressive, the harder you swing, it's harder to catch up. But the guys that sit back and don't try to do too much and take the nice easy swing, that's why you always say when you're facing a guy that throws extremely hard, less is more. Which means the easier swing you take, the better the bat speed you have. Once you make contact, it jumps off pretty good. See, I wish I would have looked at myself now back when I played. Because I figured facing the guy throwing this hard, I wanted to swing as hard as I could. You never know. One ball might go out of the stadium.
You're older, you're wiser. Just may not have the same ability.
I'd like to listen to one of those conversations that you had with yourself. Can you bring us back into one of those?
I think we've been in a bunch of them. 3 balls and 1 strike. Update from Atlanta where the Cubs are taking on the Braves. The Braves are shutting out the Cubs 2-0. That game's in the bottom of the 7th. Brian Domet has contributed an RBI double for the Braves. David Wright is on deck for New York. It's 3-1 to Murphy. Out toward left field, playable for Dominic Brown. He backpedals, now comes in. Side is retired. An inning and 2/3 scoreless for Jake Diekman here tonight. We've completed 7 innings at Citi Field. We're tied up at 4. Valley Honda. Visit your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer or shophonda.com. Buy the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. And buy Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at chevydealer.com. Top of the 8th inning. Last night it took 11 innings for the Phillies to win it against Carlos Torres. Well, tonight they'll face Torres here in the 8th as he takes over for Familia, who faced just one batter, retired that batter on a strikeout. And Torres is on to face Dominic Brown, Carlos Ruiz, and Cody Ashe for the Phillies here in the top of the 8th. Dominic, an RBI single his first time up on a bloop to center. And he fly to left and grounded out to first. First pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Appeal. Oh, he went around, he says the third base umpire gave him a rounds. Oh, 2. Toward the hole, and Murphy is able to get there. 1 out. It's now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Well, Murphy plays so deep over at second base. That's why he's able to get to those kind of balls. He kind of died in the grass a little bit. Slowed up enough for him to gobble it up and then throw Dominic Brown out. First pitch to Carlos Ruiz is taken inside and low. 1-0.
Carlos looks almost a little out of sync. That his timing's a little off. He started with the movement just a hair late.
Is that where he gets long with his swing, doing stuff like that?
Yeah, and it's more upper body swing than using your lower half when you're hitting. His first movement of his shoulders right there will come out a little bit. And that point of contact, you're not using the backside of your legs. Everything you do is you're using upper body only, and there is no rotation towards the lower half.
3-0 pitch. And that's in there for strike 3-1. Carlos trying to sell that one toward the outer edge. Same spot, 3-2. Over to shortstop Flores. Now 2 outs, and Cody Ashe's coming up. Ashe's 0 for 2. He's lined out and he's grounded out.
Make a call here. Cody's going to hit a home run.
Are you feeling it down there, Utley's corner?
Yep.
I think we'll all buy into that. Granderson is really deep in right field. Reed Brignac's out of the on-deck circle to pinch hit. On the outside corner, 1-1. That's a pitcher's pitch right there.
But I got to believe if he hits a home run, it's going to have to be the left field.
The way they're pitching him?
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to tie him up inside with the cutter. They don't want to get him extended for that power swing. He has a very good cutter. That's a nice curveball, though.
That was the pitch right there.
Well, that 92, 91, that cutter's.
As she asks for time. Cody's average is at 224 with his 0 for 2 tonight and his walk. He's away on the left side, and that play remains 1-2. Phillies' other third base prospect, Maikel Franco, the 21-year-old who's playing for Lehigh Valley, hit a home run last night. It's his third of the year. He's at 222 right now with 3 homers and 11 runs batted in. He's starting to swing the bat better. The ball's pulled to the right side, and Murphy bobbles for a moment. And the Phillies go down in order in their half of the 8th inning. So 1-2-3 inning for Torres. On to the bottom of the 8th. It's a 4-4 ball game. On Friday, May 23rd, it'll kick off a 3-game series, a special post-game performance by Marcus Schultz after Friday's game. Then Saturday's a 3:05 start. Sunday the 25th is a 1:35 first pitch. The IBEW Local 98 Ryan Sandberg Plastic Louisville Slugger bat, free to fans 14 and under. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com. Go to the bottom of the 8th inning. They need to repair that scoreboard if we're going to get to the 9th. It's 4-4 game, and Mike Adams will come on for the Phillies. Diekman goes an inning and 2/3 scoreless. Solid again. Solid night again for Jake Diekman. David Wright will lead it off for New York. He's homer tonight, and he's double home run. He has 3 RBIs. Adams' numbers, his earned run average at 5.40. What have you guys liked from Adams so far in the limited times that we've gotten a chance to see him? Anything jump out?
I like the way he kept the ball down last night. He had a lot of good movement on his sinker, and his slider was really, really tight. Got ahead of hitters. Kind of like that right there.
Now I got to think of something to say, because Jamie said what I was going to say about him being down in the zone. What I liked last night is a lot of people think, they know he's an off-speed pitcher, throws a lot of sliders. After showing a couple, then he started throwing the fastballs away and getting guys looking for that slider and freezing these guys. So his keeping the ball down, but mixing in the fastball off the slider. Because usually guys throw stuff off the fastball. They're different pitches. Well, he pitches off his slider.
That's why they call it pitching, not throwing.
Well, he's ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Let's see where this pitch is going to be. And a line drive, base hit to right center field for David Wright. Oh, it's time now for the Jeep Stump the Fans Trivia Quiz answer. All right, the question, guys, which Mets pitcher, other than Tom Seaver and Doc Gooden, has won the Cy Young Award?
R.A. Dickey.
It's as if you knew it right from the get-go. All right, I want you to read, though, some of the names that you wrote down first before you.
Oh, we started with Ron Darling, John Matlack.
Right.
Frank Viola.
Frank Viola.
Yep. No, Matt, you even threw down Nolan Ryan, which I knew that wasn't the case. He had a great career, but thought maybe tonight. I think you thought maybe the bobblehead thing tonight.
Well, when he said it, the bobblehead was on the board, so I figured we've seen him this year.
Now, who here in the booth told you that was R.A. Dickey? Was there anybody? Did Mike, our camera operator here?
No, actually, he suggested John Matlack.
John Matlack. He was throwing you off the course. Mike just got buzzed. Granderson takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Granderson tonight is 1 for 3, grounded out, singled, struck out.
Murph gave me a clue too.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest.
Murph, did you text Jamie a clue, or how did you give him a clue? You texted him.
Yes, I did.
Sign language, Murph.
Yeah, I can see you guys, so I was just helping out.
You were disappointed at me for giving the hint, and then you gave them a clue?
Well,
look, honesty's the best policy, Tom. Okay.
Obvious, but
that hint.
I knew it before the hint.
Yeah, well, that hint wasn't obvious because they wrote down 3 other names after I gave that hint.
Well,
1 ball and 1 strike to Granderson. Inside 2-1. And then you guys talked among yourselves saying, "Did we see John Matlack this year?"
No.
I said that.
Yeah.
Well, I thought maybe we walked by the pitcher out there or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we were just trying to play you up here, Tom, with writing these names.
Well, I was very entertained, I have to say. Granderson pulls it to the right side. That's going to leak into right field, a base hit. Right will stop at second. And the Mets now have runners on first and second with nobody out. Chris Young is coming up. I would think you have to anticipate a sacrifice here, right? If you're the Phillies.
Yeah, you would think first and second. And bottom of the 8th, yeah. I mean, I can understand if the guys swing the bat extremely well, but in this situation, you got to try to bunt him over.
227 hitter? Most definitely.
Well, the Phillies just met on the mound. They're discussing their defense.
Doesn't mean you have to throw him a cookie just to be able to get the bunt down. Start him off with a slider just to make sure.
Yeah, maybe he can get a bunt it into the air. Howard's creeping in. Ashe's on the grass at third. Young squares. And he takes low. 1 ball and no strikes.
He doesn't look real comfortable with that bunt approach.
Tim Tuffle, the third base coach, laying down the signs. 12 sacrifice bunts in his career. Inside 2-0. The last time he sacrificed was back in 2011.
You got to make him bunt the ball.
There's a strike, 3-1. Young assumed that was low and in. Tim Timmons, the home plate umpire, did not think so. Well, wow. That is a pitcher's pitch.
That's a gift.
Yep.
I'll take it. Below his back knee, which was turned.
He's still shaking his head as he got back into the box. And he bunts it toward third. It's a good bunt. Ashley Barehands has a play at first. Sacrifice is successful. 5-4 of the putout, and the go-ahead run is over at third base now for the Mets. And Eric Campbell, who had an RBI in his first major league at bat, or first major league appearance in the 6th inning. Bob McClure will come out. Campbell up again here.
A situation with a kid that's got one major league at bat. Obviously he's got some talent. Don't know what they have on a scouting report, if they've any of the Phillies clubs have seen him in the past, but you would think they'd have something on him. But again, Adams is more of an off-speed pitcher, as you said, Matt, using his slider effectively. I think that's probably how you're going to start him off here. But you want to force him to swing the bat.
Well, they're going to walk him intentionally.
Okay, set up a double play.
Campbell was not intentionally walked at all this year in AAA. Last time he was intentionally walked was back in 2010 in Single A. Maybe they changed their mind. Carlos took a long look over in the dugout as he was trotting back behind home plate. Now they're going to pitch to him. Well, this is interesting. Bob McClure went out to the mound. I don't think that they misinterpreted anything. Maybe Adams, they asked him his thoughts. 1 ball and no strikes. With the infield in, runners at second and third. And that's in there for a strike. It's 1-1. We obviously have seen catchers start in a catcher's position to work around a hitter and then intentionally walk them. It's not often that you see it the other way around.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. it's one of those intentional, unintentional walk. See if he'll chase.
I mean, might as well go after me. I already threw him a strike. Or maybe they know the scouting report. He's not a very good 1-0 hitter.
Well, now you're digging deep.
I mean, this is a situation here where he faced Diekman with the bases loaded and hit a ball to right field.
Correct.
I'm going to stay hard in. Fastball's inside. And I want him to get a jam shot to third base. You just can't let a hitter elevate, get the ball elevated, get their arms extended in this situation. You're doing the hitter a favor if you do.
Check swing. Did he go? Yes, it's 2-2.
Well, and just again, I've never seen this kid hit. I look at his stance at the plate. He's off the plate. He doesn't look like if he just took a normal swing, he'd get plate coverage on the outer half of the plate. So it tells me he's got to dive. So if he's got to dive, he's vulnerable in. But it's got to be not. I'm not saying inner third. It's in.
See where Ruiz sets up. He's going to go outside, and the pitch is right down the chute. A called strike 3. 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Well, the oddity of starting an at-bat this way, and it is odd, and then all of a sudden they decide to go after him, and it ends like that.
I mean, that pitch there, it almost looked like he wasn't even ready to hit.
I agree.
Almost looked like he was taking.
Or he was looking off speed.
But it didn't even look like he was ready to hit it, though. Interesting.
Well, now Flores the batter, and he takes off the outside corner. Well, they say that during the course of a baseball season, or during the course of a career, no matter what it is, when you're watching this game, you'll see something different every day. We've seen more different things this year. In the series alone. Flores is 0 for 3.
This is what you call hitting outside the baseball. And that's what happens when your hands go outside the baseball. You try to hook a ball that you shouldn't. That's what you call a shin burger.
Actually, I think I got him right above the knee on the inside of the leg.
It's a knee burger.
Okay.
1-1 to Flores. The infield is back with 2 outs. Up and in, 2-1. Wanted that one. He held it for a moment on the outside part of the plate. 3-1. You got Darno in the on-deck circle. This is a great shot right here. Great view, and it's off the plate there, but it's close. Three and 2. Kyle Farnsworth is the Mets closer. And it seems like he's going to come in at the top of the 9th inning, tie game, or if the Mets have the lead. The way he's throwing in the pen. Pitcher spot is not due up for a couple of batters. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Wilmer Flores. The pitch from Adams. Outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. And Terry Collins, I believe, is going to call d'Arnaud back. And it might be Bobby Abreu. Yeah, here comes Bobby Abreu. He'll be the pinch hitter. Larry Boa checking to see if well, Pistardo was throwing. He's no longer up. Maybe they're going to get somebody up. I did see Pistardo warming up out there, didn't I? He was up a few moments ago. So the discussion on the mound will be broken up momentarily. Well, they're not killing time to get somebody up. So Terry Collins is going to roll Bobby Abreu out. Bobby, of course, was in spring training with the Phillies until the last few days. Phillies offered him a chance to go to AAA to keep on getting his swing down. He missed all of last year. He opted for free agency and opted for the warmer weather in Las Vegas, it seems. And that's where he began the year. In AAA Las Vegas, where he hit .395 with a home run and 9 RBIs. And now up here with the Mets with the bases loaded against his former team. First pitch is inside. Abreu is hitting .176.
I realize this is a little different situation than Adams was in last night, but throwing far fewer strikes and actually pitching behind in the count, which makes a big difference in last night's outing versus tonight's.
Bobby hits it back toward the mound, flagged down by Adams, and the inning is over. So the first 2 batters get aboard with back-to-back singles, and Mike Adams is able to work out of trouble. We'll go to the 9th inning here in New York in a 4-4 game. And you can catch everything from what he thought of Kyle Kendrick's outing to what he just watched with Mike Adams out on the mound. Only on Pure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Post Game Live. It's coming up right after this one. Well, Mike Adams works himself out of that jam after the first 2 batters get aboard. And now as we go to the top of the 9th inning, Kyle Farnsworth will take over on the mound for the Mets. He's the closer coming into a tie game at home. A 3.00 ERA. Anthony Recker takes over behind the plate, so a new battery for the Mets. So Recker will bat 9th. Farnsworth bats 8th. And now Tony Gwynn will pinch hit for the Phils. They're in the top of the 9th inning. There's Ruiz and Adams chatting with A.J. Burnett. Well, I guess when you take a step back at it, it was kind of funny that they threw an intentional ball to the first to Campbell and then went after. And got him fairly easily, too.
Yeah, never seen that before.
You've never seen it before. You've never done it before. That says a lot. You've never seen it before either, right, Matt?
Never.
Gwynn shows Bunny, lays down a beauty. Barehanded by Wright. What a play. David Wright came curling in. And the only thing he could do was barehand that. And there's one away.
That was a very nice play by David Wright. Looks like Farnsworth was going to take it and realize he couldn't get it. Actually took a bad angle to it. David Wright comes in and makes that look like just a ho-hum play. Had him by 2 steps. Great concentration to pick that ball up, and step and a half later, ball's on its way to first.
And now Revere is 1 for 4. He's grounded out 3 times, and he singled his first time up. Inside corner, and it's 0-1.
Farnsworth still has some really good velocity.
He's always had good stuff.
I think the knock on him is he's just hasn't had enough command to be that conventional closer.
Remember when he pitched for the Braves? He had eventually found his way to Atlanta, had a lot of success there, and decided to go elsewhere once free agency came. And a lot of people thought that he was crazy because he had finally, after being with the Cubs and was all over the place, finally had found a place that he was comfortable. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ground ball foul. It's 1-2. Career saves, an ERA for his career over 4 as a reliever.
I think that explains it right there.
Revere to go fishing for the second out. 2 outs. Rollins is coming up. Rollins has scored 3 runs tonight. He's got 3 hits, including a home run. Mario Hollins is up in the bullpen. So he'll be the next one out for the Phillies. Papelbon is just milling around next to him on the mound.
Be interesting to see if Jimmy gets anything inside. That's a strike to try to pull for a home run down the corner. I got to believe they're going to stay away soft and backdoor sliders against him.
Yeah, he was taken all the way there. It's 1-1 on that breaking pitch. Outside corner. Pretty good pitch.
And that's the pitch he never used to have with the Cubs. I mean, he was strictly a fastball, hard slider. And the difference between his fastball and his slider back in the day was only probably about 2 or 3 miles an hour. And that's why Jameis is now, he's pitching. He's not just a thrower anymore. He's learned how to use that changeup slider and add and subtracting off that fastball.
In the dirt, 2-2 to Rollins. Trying to get on, give Chase Utley a chance. That's a tough take. 2 strikes. It's a ball, but that's a tough take. 95 on that fastball from Farnsworth.
That's where I think it's important as a hitter to really track the ball out of the pitcher's hand. The guys that are good at that can lay off those close pitches because they see trajectory.
Outside, ball 4. So the go-ahead run is aboard. Rollins has been on base 4 times tonight. And here comes Chase Utley. Well, Chase provided our W. Mason delivery of the game. This ball, surprisingly to me, jumped. I mean, it went out. It hit the top of the wall out in center field.
Yeah, and this is a slider that stayed middle of the plate. And the reason why that ball jumped off as bad is because his whole momentum was going back towards the middle of the field. He didn't pull off on it. He stayed through the ball and drove to left center. Got the proper backspin, and that's why that ball carried that far.
Let's see if he can do that again here. If he does that here, Rollins, although they are no doubles, so they're going to get out there pretty quick. But Rollins with 2 outs is moving on contacts. And they nearly picked him off. That was close.
He's got a healthy lead.
And we've seen the Phillies have run against the Mets catchers. I guess it wasn't really as close as I thought. His hand was in there when he provided the tag on the backside. One ball and no strikes.
Something you see with base runners, and I see it when I saw that with Jimmy there. His first movement with his feet, where he had his stance and his left foot moved towards his right foot, and then he dove back. I see that with base runners stealing second base. Their first step, they call it a false step. Their first step is almost moving the width of their foot, and then they cross over to go to second. And how many bang bang plays do you see at second base?
Yeah.
I've seen that for years, and I've always wondered why, and I've never really asked anybody why. And some people just, I've asked, and they say, well, it really doesn't make a difference in the conversation.
And that's a line drive into right field, a base hit. Rollins is going to get to third, and Utley's aboard again. Chase Utley now with back-to-back hits. First and third with 2 men down. And Ryan Howard, who has 3 hits, is coming up. Campbell's looking in to see what they want him to do. I think he's going to want to play him off Chase Utley. As Dan Worthen's coming out, to talk to Farnsworth and the rest of the infielders. They're going to prefer to pitch to Bird instead of Howard. What do you guys think?
It's maybe what they're discussing right now.
There's only 4 at-bats for Ryan against Farnsworth. He hit a home run in those 4 at-bats. He's 1 for 4.
I think they're going to let him pitch to him.
And I think what's going to happen here is Campbell's going to play behind Chase and take that hole away, and then all of a sudden if Chase decides to steal second base, then they'll put him on. So what they're trying to do is trying to bait him to steal the base, making their decision easy.
If Flores is looking now, he's asking, should I go farther over on the right side or stay close to the second base bag? He doesn't know what to do. He's going back, and now he's going to go to the left.
Yeah, and I mean, with Campbell at first base, there's no reason why he should be playing that shallow.
Down the left field line, on the run is Young, and it's going to slice into the crowd. Nice catch by that gentleman with a glove.
Because if Campbell's going to play first base and he's going to stand that close to Chase,
hold him on.
Exactly, because you're not
right.
You can't throw over, so you might as well back up the whole way and take that hole away.
One ball and 1 strike to Howard. Marlon Byrd, last night's hero for the Phils, is on deck. Who will be the hero tonight?
And I think because maybe Marlon is swinging the bat so well, could be another reason why they may be choosing to pitch to Ryan.
Utley started and then stopped. Howard checks his swing. It's 2-1.
Well, there's a few things here. If Chase decides to take off here and gets to second base, what it does is it takes the force play out at second base, especially if there's a very good play made. That's going to be a bang, bang, bang at second base. So more than likely, I'd expect Chase taking off right here. 2 strikes for sure.
Balls and 2 strikes to Ryan Howard. And he lines one into center field. A base hit. The Phillies will take the lead here in the top of the 9th inning. Rollins will score. It's a 5-4 ball game. And Ryan Howard has a 4-hit night.
Great at bat by Ryan right there, but Farnsworth, that ball was supposed to be an elevated fastball. Thinking it's supposed to be at the letters, never got it there. Ryan stayed with it and just hit it back through the middle. Actually, the ball is right down the middle.
So an RBI single for Ryan Howard. John Mayberry will pinch run for him. Rollins, the fist pump. The dugout is alive, and here's Marlon Byrd. 0 for 3. Check swing on a breaking ball, and no swing, says Tim Welke. We'll give the big piece some credit. RBI number 21 for Ryan Howard. He's closing in on Marlon Byrd. He's also on pace for the 100 RBI season.
All pluses.
All pluses. You grow to expect it, and now you grow to be hopeful for it. drops in for strike one. That extra run looks so big right now for the Phillies if they can get Utley home from second base. That one's hit sharply to short, and Flores flips underhand second base. And the side is retired. The Phillies take the lead here in the top of the ninth inning on an RBI single by Ryan Howard. Boy, this is a sweet swing right there. He missed his spot by about 1.5 feet, and Howard didn't miss it. Drives home Jimmy Rollins, who shows his excitement. So we'll go to the bottom of the ninth inning. It's the Phillies 5, the Mets 4, and Paps coming in. For the Phillies, and Tony Gwynn stays in the game. He'll play center field for Ben Revere. And the new pitcher is Phillies closer Jonathan Papelbon, who was trying to convert another save. He's got 13 straight scoreless innings, and he's converted his last 10 save opportunities. He's 10 for 11, and it's going to set up like this. He'll face Recker, and then the top of the order. And since the 2nd of April, when Pap blew that save against the Rangers, this is what we spotlighted in the open. Yeah. 7 1-2-3 innings.
And really had a great talk the other day as we were waiting through customs. First down the line for a while. He was saying that his velocity doesn't mean a whole lot, as he calls the velo. But the thing about him is everyone expects him to throw that split finger fastball. And he's been establishing the fastball and using his fastball by getting a lot of teams that are swinging through it. And he's been working on that hard slider, so he's pitching with a lot of confidence. He knows he has to pitch in for success because he doesn't throw the 95, 96 anymore.
Well, he'll face Anthony Recker to start things off. Recker came on to catch in a double switch. 229 hitter, 2 home runs, 6 runs batted in. The only guy the Mets have off the bench is Ruben Tejada. It'll be Recker, Lagares, and Murphy. So there is some heavy lifting here for Papelbon to deal with. First pitch is a little low and in. 1 ball, no strikes. That breaking pitch, and it's 1-1.
Notice it's down. It's a big difference when that ball's down versus when it's slightly elevated in the zone. Has some bite when it's down. And it's further away from the hitter's eyes.
Papelbon is 4 saves away from 300 for his career. And a fastball in there. It's 1-2. Lagares on deck. Tries to raise the eye level there a little bit. It's 2-2. Ryan Howard, who was pinch run for by John Mayberry, has given the Phillies a 1-run lead. Trying to take the second game of the series. And he is down on strikes. He checked his swing. It didn't matter. The home plate umpire, Tim Timmons, rings him up. And there's one away here in the 9th inning. I think he shocked him with this pitch.
Yeah, I think he surprised him. I think he thought it might have been up. Ball came back, kind of sank back to the plate. Pretty good pitcher's pitch.
So one gone, and here's Lagares. Lagares is 1 for 2. Hit by a pitch, walked in the 6th, singled his last time. Good sized gap in left center field. Fly ball right center field. Playable. And Marlon Byrd makes the last call and the catch, and there's 2 outs. And here comes Daniel Murphy.
This is a lot of situation here where they're both yelling at the same time. And a lot of times the center fielders think that they should catch everything because they're the captains of the outfield. But when you have a very good right fielder as well, he can run him down as well. So the thing is, you keep on yelling until the other person, you can't hear him anymore.
It seemed like they were both yelling at the same time. Fortunately, they made the catch. So now Murphy has scored a couple runs tonight. First pitch is outside, 1-0. This is the guy right here. I want to get this guy because David Wright is in the on deck circle. Phil's trying to leave Toronto as a distant memory. Getting this second win here would even up this road trip at 2-2.
Well, and getting a quick out here with John only throwing 12 pitches last night. He gets a quick out here. He potentially is available for tomorrow.
Down and away. He's missed in that same area with all 3 pitches that have been called balls in this at bat. So it's 3-1. There's ball 4. So Murphy draws a walk, and it's going to bring David Wright to the plate. Opting for the 3-1 split there.
Yeah, I almost feel like he decided he was going to pitch around him since he got behind him.
Ruiz will head out to the mound. Seven at-bats for David Wright against Papelbon. in there for striking the D's. It's 0-1, David Wright. Runner goes. Pitch is taken high. The throw to second by Ruiz. And now the tying run is in scoring position. 7 steals this year for Murphy. Carlos really didn't have a chance. All right, now what are you still going to go after David Wright here? First base open, righty on righty.
Carefully. I mean, I think you're going to try to go up there and throw your pitch, of course, and try to get him to go to the strike zone a little bit to help you out.
Because you do have Granderson, who's a lefty in the on-deck circle. So if you like righty-righty, here's the matchup. Popped him up. John Mayberry into foul territory. He's under it, and he puts it away, and the Phillies have taken the first 2 games of this series against the Mets. They win it 5-4 tonight on an RBI single by Ryan Howard. And Jonathan Papelbon closes out another one. Ryan Howard 4 for 5. He is our Chevrolet player of the game. The go-ahead RBI. And then Papelbon, as he's done all year now, closed the door. 14 straight scoreless innings. And you see Ruiz's reaction as soon as that pitch